What's up everybody, Brandon Johnson here again, and today I wanted to talk about 3 ways to take a bluegrass solo for beginners. So if you're a beginner to the style of bluegrass guitar, this is a great video for you. And since this is a beginner video, we're not going to worry too much about music theory, scales, or even tabs. We're just going to take a look at a basic kind of starting point for how to approach taking a solo over almost any tune. So the first thing you want to do when you're taking a solo break for guitar, or really for any instrument, is you want to determine what key the song is in. So if we're playing out of the key of G, for example, 9-pound hammer, 9-pound hammer is going to have the 3 chords out of the G major scale, the 1, the 4, and the 5. So that's going to be the G, the C, and then the D. So those are the 3 chords over 9-pound hammer, and that's a common chord progression, and there's a lot of variations of that 1-4-5 chord progression in a lot of different tunes, which is why I'm choosing those 3 chords. So once we've determined what key the song is, in this case the song is in the key of G, that's going to give us basically all the information we need to know how to play a solo. So the song's in the key of G, so we know we're going to be playing notes out of the G scale. Now, we're not just going to be playing the scale start to finish, we're going to be playing the scale in a very specific order. So in bluegrass, there's something called the G run, and if you're interested in learning more about the G run, I'll link to that above. I have another lesson video that kind of dives deeper into the G run and exactly how to play it. But in its most basic form, the G run is going to be an open D, 2nd fret D, and an open G. So there you've got 3 notes that you can use to take a solo in the key of G. And you'll notice that when I play that open D to 2nd fret D, I pause for a second and then play the open G. So that's important to get a little bit of dynamics in your playing. So that alone right there is a solo. So you could actually take those 3 notes and compose a solo over a G chord. So let's try to do that real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so what you'll notice there is I played that little G run, that little group of 3 notes, over and over the G chord. So in this case, because the song is in the key of G, the G chord is going to be the first chord. So what if we wanted to play over the C chord or the D chord? Well, you can actually take that same series of notes, that same G run, and actually play that over all 3 chords. So let's take a look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. All right, so there you have it. Just like that, you're soloing over a bluegrass song. And specifically, your soloing is going to sound like bluegrass because you're using a phrase, the G run, that is sort of commonly used across a lot of different instruments in the style of bluegrass music. So you don't have to play a bunch of flashy, complicated stuff to take a bluegrass solo. It can be as simple as those 3 notes. So we determined what key the song was in. We played the 3-note G run over those chords. Since it's in the same key, those notes will work over all 3 chords. So the third way to take a solo over a bluegrass chord progression is by taking the G run and playing that over the G chord like we just did, but then modifying it a little bit and playing the same run but over the C chord. So that's going to sound like this. So we're playing those same 3 notes, but this time we're playing the open G, 2nd fret G, and the 1st fret B. So we're playing that G run, but we're kind of playing it over the notes of the C chord. And then when we move to the D chord, you can play the D run over the D chord. So the D run is going to be the open A, 2nd fret A, and then open D. So the G run is going to sound like this. The C run is going to sound like this. And then the D run is going to sound like this. So now let's try to play this over the chord progression for 9-pound hammer, and we're going to switch from the G run to the C run to the D run when we play those chord changes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. All right, so those are the 3 steps to taking a bluegrass solo. The first step is determining the key of the song. The second step is finding the G run of that key. A lot of times you'll capo up according to what key you're in so that you can play out of the G position. That's very common in bluegrass. And then from there you can expand on that by playing runs from the other chords in the chord progression. In this case, it's a C run and a D run. So those are kind of 3 steps to taking an effective bluegrass solo that actually sounds like bluegrass. Of course, you can expand on those concepts, and I actually released a full-length video as a part of my YouTube membership and also on my website, brandonjohnsonguitar.com, where we kind of expand out those concepts a little bit and look at some more complex scales that you can use to build solos as well. And I also provide full-length backing tracks over 9-pound hammer for that as well. So if you're interested in that, check out my YouTube membership or head on over to my website, brandonjohnsonguitar.com. So if you're interested in learning more about bluegrass guitar, subscribe to my channel here on YouTube, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you next time.